All right, guys, this is Dave Whichard, President, FFL Velocity. Welcome to Warrior Podcast, and I'm super excited today. I was talking to one of my other integrity partners the other day, and my brother Stephen Yee, and I was talking to him about a guy that I wanted. I was like, we were just talking about some guys who are doing some great things in the company and helping a lot of people, a lot of families, protect a lot of families. And he brought up this guy, David Chen, who I'd met a couple times, but with things going crazy and everything, it's just like I know him. Like I see him, I know who he is and everything, but the voice and the names don't ring a bell sometimes when you're meeting lots of people, and it's my job to get better at that. But I do. I mean, I love meeting people and getting to know who they are better. And this is one of those platforms where I'm able to do that, and it helps a lot. So anyway, I got my man David Chen, who is on his way to a Hall of Fame this year, which is protecting over 400 families. David, again, tell us a little bit about your story, just how you came to FFL, a little bit about your background, like where you grew up, you raised, your family, anything you want to share with us about David Chen to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, certainly. First of all, Mr. Whichard, I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and to give back. And first of all, also congratulations on your recent integrity deal. That's awesome. Obviously, always been leading from the front. So just a little bit about myself. I came to FFL towards the end of 2020. Prior to that, I was basically working in the corporate environment. Held numerous sales and marketing and management positions, and basically just working in that whole corporate environment, working for someone else, working for companies, and basically helping them make money and making them rich, right? And I've always known Stephen. Stephen and I have known each other for quite some time, Stephen E. And we all come from the same kind of like that whole basketball family environment, and I've always just kind of kept in touch with him, and obviously through social media, I see that he's doing very, very well. And just one day, I kind of said, hey, just kind of out of curiosity, what is it exactly that you do? Asked him to kind of, go to lunch, and one thing led to another. After that first initial lunch meeting, I didn't really take the plunge or dive right in, all in yet. And then we met another time afterwards. And that's when I kind of said, hey, I think this might be it for me. After working for someone else for so long, I just didn't, feel that fulfillment anymore, and I wanted something a little bit more positive and feel like what I'm doing is more meaningful. And that's when I found FFL. We always hear it all the time, #BBE, best business ever, and so here I am.
So basketball. So you guys play basketball together?
Yeah, well, he coaches basketball.
Right, yeah, I knew that, yeah.
He plays also a little bit. So what's funny is because, he also refs basketball. Like I mentioned, he coaches high school basketball, and he knows my father. And then some of the rec leagues that I played in, a pretty decent competition, he actually refs some of my games. So we kind of known each other for a little while now.
Now, what were you doing specifically for your work job, for your work stuff?
Yeah, I worked for different corporate companies. I worked for a lot of financial firms. I did some stuff for manufacturing. Basically, always some type of sales role, sales management role, director of sales role. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you married? Have any family, kids?
Yeah, happily married. Just celebrated our 15th year anniversary. I'm not supposed to say this, but yeah.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. We just came back from Bora Bora not too long ago, and snuck away for 3-4 days. And right back in the grind, and yeah, two kids, Jordan, who's 8, and my little son Jackson just turned 5.
Yeah, no, and it's okay to, dude, that's exciting. 15 years of marriage, you celebrated, and it's funny. We want a culture of work, right? We want to be able to serve families, and there's not. That's great. I'm glad you guys got to celebrate that. I think the biggest thing is like, hey, look at me, I'm over here, and I'm relaxing, and you're working. That's the thing. It's not. I think you taking a few days with your wife, that's important. And the bottom line is, you're riding, you're working, and if you have your team, I'm sure. Are you growing? What's your team look like? Are you growing a team too as well?
Yeah, obviously started off just being a producer on my personal pen, and just getting my feet wet. And last year I was fortunate enough to help just right around 300 families, obviously with the guidance and leadership of Stephen and everyone on the team, right? You have all these top producers such as like Zeke, Rob Kakish, Brandon Kitchings. These are all my brothers for life. And So yeah, I just pretty much follow the blueprint like we all do, because Sean has done such a tremendous job building this platform for us and put this system in place for us. And all you really have to do is just plug and play. And I just kind of follow what everyone else is doing. We all know buy leads, dial the phone, set appointments, or nowadays a lot of us are doing stuff either hybrid or telesales, virtual Zoom, etc. So I was pretty fortunate to kind of just come right in and roll my sleeves up and get right to work.
Were you born in that area, or where's your background from, your family and stuff?
Yeah, I'm actually a Midwest boy. I grew up in Iowa. Went to school there. Yeah, went to school there and played sports, high school and college. And then after that, I started working right out the gate after college, and then shortly, a couple years later, the first company that I was working for, they transferred me out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I worked there for about a year and a half, and lived in New York, and then found my way to California.
Nice, man. Well, I'm super excited for your family. 15 years, and you said 3 kids, right? Is that what you said?
Two little ones.
Two. I missed it. Okay. How old are they?
8 and 5.
Wow. You got boys, girls?
2 boys, 2 little knuckleheads.
Okay, cool. All right, now they're gonna play basketball with you, right?
Hopefully.
That's exciting.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So you played college basketball?
Yeah, I played actually 2 sports, tennis and basketball, both in high school and college.
Nice. Yeah, I played both those in high school as well.
Awesome.
So let's jump right into so again, you're at about 350 families for the year. So when you got Hall of Fame in sight, you figure you're going to hit that in the next, 30 days, 60 days or so?
Well, 350 families last year. Right now, I'm, obviously with the way things are this year, we're still plugging along, and we're that's still the goal inside, of course. And it's going to be a grind, but I'm geared up for it, and just same thing. They take it day by day, family by family, and then hopefully towards the end of the year we'll be right there.
So you're averaging 30, 40 families a month, something like that?
Correct. Yeah, usually somewhere between 30, 35. The best month I've ever had was right around 53. So I try to stay consistent there. Of course, also building a team. Don't have quite the big team like you do yourself, but we're working on it. Got about 15, 20 agents, and we're doing our best, and trying to pour back into to these new agents, and helping them learn the ropes and do what it takes to help them help their families as well.
Good. Well, so you didn't have this background. You never sold life insurance or anything like that before. So what are some things in the beginning, let's talk there, to get some pitfalls maybe that you would tell a new agent to avoid, and some things you would do better looking back a year and a half ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've heard it all too often, right? In the beginning, there's that self-doubt, right? That oh, can I do this? Is this right for me? A lot of times also in the beginning, depending on each individual's financial situation, they come in afraid or hesitant to invest in leads, right? Because obviously we know leads are the backbone of our business, and it's what allows us to go out there and help so many families anywhere throughout the country, and not having to, ask friends and family, or sell life insurance to your aunts and uncles, right? You can only do that for so long and so much, and you don't want to be that guy. Hey, here comes David again. He's probably going to try to sell me life insurance. So with that unique platform that we had, you just needed to kind of believe in yourself and believe in the system, and just be ready and willing to go to work and bet on yourself, right? In the beginning, of course, I was fortunate enough with Steven's guidance. I started off on old leads, and I just did what he told me to do, and really worked them. Age leads, as we know, are gold. People say that, we hear this all the time. All leads suck, but all leads work as long as you work. And that's what I did, right? And I was fortunate enough to go out there and hit the ground running, and help 20 families the first month and 23 families the second month.
Well, that's awesome. So now you've what are you doing now? So you start out, you said 2023, which is great. I mean, somebody can come here, they're watching this, and they're like, hey, I'm going to go work with David and Steven, those guys, or whatever, want to be at Family First Life. And then you hear someone who's protected 20, 23 families, right? And you do that. We know how to equate that to what the dollars look like and that kind of thing. But what are some things that you would, if you'd have got, let's say, because right now, what's the difference between 20, 23, and then you progress through that, and now you're at 35. So we're talking, 12, 15 more families a month or so. on average, maybe even more in some cases, 53, 20 more. So what's different now?
Really, as far as the work ethic, still the same. It's more leads, right? And then fine-tuning your craft, perfecting your craft, and getting better in the homes, or if you're doing the things over the phone or on Zoom. Because in the beginning, we all have to kind of go through the suck to get through success. It's not easy, right? What we do is not hard. It's not rocket science, but it does require hard work. And that's what in the beginning, we always talk about, the first 100 appointments. How quickly can you get through the first 100 appointments? Because within that first 100 appointments, you're going to pretty much encounter or see just about every type of situation. Whether it's meds, health conditions, which carrier is going to take that or which carrier is not going to take that. And from there, learning how to overcome objections, how to be comfortable and how to, all the stuff that you talk about on these podcasts, all these tremendous producers, trainers. And that's what you have to kind of get through. And how quickly can you get through that period? And as you get better and better, you're going to have higher close ratio, be able to help more families. And really, that's what it was for me. And I think that's what it is for everyone here, no matter where you come from, how you start. But being able to stay in that system that we're in, and just don't give up and keep pushing through and get better as you go.
Now, so you're doing a hybrid, right? Can you talk about that and what that looks like week to week, day to day for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I started off face to face, running everything just, in home, kind of like what a Family First Life it was all about. And, that was great. I love that.
So you were dialing Monday, Thursday, running Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Exactly.
And mostly final expense for the most part. Even when we're running, like, say somebody had a mortgage lead, 56% end up being final expense anyway because of health, right?
Yeah, I started off, honestly, like I mentioned, with age mortgage stuff and age final expense. Yes. I was blessed with Steven, some of Steven's older stuff. He said, hey, David, take these and let's get to work. And that's what I did. Mm-hmm. And yeah, always, dial Monday morning, set appointments for Tuesday and Wednesday, get back on the phones again on Thursday, set appointments for Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, depending on the situation, have to clean up, or because we know for the most part, families are home on the weekends, and that's usually when they're happy. So that's always we have this thing called Weekend Warrior. I'm sure a lot your team does as well, right? But we always say you work throughout the week to pay your bills. You work on the weekends to get ahead, right, and to be profitable. And and in the beginning, of course, I wasn't able to set the 20, 25, 30 appointments that I needed. So anytime in between, I would dial, get back on the phones, and just try to stack the numbers in my favor, have as many sits as possible. Because we all know that the more people you sit with, the more opportunities you have. The more opportunities you have, the chances you have, helping more families. And
so when you first started, what did you do when you go in home? Did you call Steven the first few appointments?
Absolutely. It was like, hey, David, your goal right now is to get on the phone, set the appointments, and then when you get in the homes, fill out that financial inventory, be thorough as possible, ask all the questions, top to bottom, just follow that sheet, and then when you have that ready, send me a picture of it, text it to me, and then I'll walk you through from there. And that's pretty much what I did, for the first month or so. And obviously, Steven's always been great, and he's always there to provide that support and guidance. And I just did that over and over and over and over. And then when I started to see very familiar type situations, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember what he said I had to do in this type of situation. And then from there I just obviously learned, got better, and then was able to just kind of go right from go from there.
So I may have missed this, but on the hybrid approach, you're still running some appointments in the homes as well right now? Yeah,
so like I mentioned in the beginning, I did everything face-to-face, and then towards the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, kind of doing that whole COVID pandemic situation, and Family First Life was making that transition, to virtual. I think Josh Williams, kind of led from the front, and Brandon as well, Brandon Kitchings, and everyone started to kind of make that transition. So now, I run the hybrid approach. So basically, Monday through Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing stuff over the phone, right? The thing with telesales is now it allows us to help families throughout the country. We had that opportunity as well in the beginning, but you have to, implement travel trips, which is what I did, right? I'm here in Southern California. It's stiff competition. There's a lot of agents. But also there's a lot of families to be helped as well. But I started doing travel trips, and then getting back to your question about the whole hybrid approach. So nowadays, Monday through Wednesday, Thursday, I'm on the phones. I'm doing Zoom appointments and helping families throughout the country, right? With telesales now, we have the ability to get non-res licenses in every state, any state that you want, and then being able to work different time zones and not have to physically be there, right? We always talk about profitability. This cuts down on travel, which I do enjoy, but nowadays, I really enjoy this hybrid approach. Being able to help people over the phone, over Zoom, and then on the weekends, I run my local stuff that I have here.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. What are some things that you could say, any tricks or anything? There's no tricks really, right? But, maybe a word or something you might say on the phone and maybe it's just basic stuff, which we all are, but we all have our thing. Maybe we say this, say that. What are some things that maybe you say on the phone that you've heard? I mean, we all heard it from other people probably, that might help a new agent as they're getting started. And here's the thing, are you an overthinker, or are you like I'm not? I'm just like, okay, give me the phone, whatever. I always joke around people, just pick up the phone and say, okay, you don't want any insurance, hang up. And whatever it takes to get them moving. But what are some challenges maybe you ran into on the phone, how you overcame those challenges, but what are some things that maybe you would say to someone watching this, how to overcome that on the phone and go book those appointments?
Yeah, absolutely. There really is no trick, right? The trick is you just have to be yourself, and you got to be confident in what it is that you're doing, right? When you're doing things over the phone, you don't have as much grace, right? Doing things telesales, because they can't see you and you can't see them. So your ability to build credibility with the families or with the person you're speaking with is key, right? And I think that sometimes when you overthink things, or because you can't see them, they can't see you, you get all caught up in this whole, okay, well, what is he or she or this person's going to think about me, right? And you can't do that. I've always found that just be natural, be yourself, and I don't overthink things. If they're not interested, and I know how to overcome that objection now, obviously, and like you said, just keep it moving on to the next, because we have so many leads. We have so many families out there who did fill out requests, and we all know it's all about timing, right? And when you're doing things over the phone, if you caught them at the wrong time, you try to book a later appointment that day or no more than 24 hours out. And then from there, or if I have someone on the phone, I'm pretty much doing a one-call close. Hey, if I have you on the phone, Mr. Whichard, I'm going to help you right here and right now, right? Express the importance of things, why this is important, why they filled it out, and then just kind of play through the emotions, and then just basically go through the whole process and get them helped.
Yeah, so you were saying you do the Zoom appointment. Do you pretty much do the same thing on Zoom if you see it? Because a lot of guys don't do the Zoom. They'll do just the phone, right? Would you say your Zoom is similar to just what you did in the homes? And if, how you laid it out and everything, and what did you do when you went home? Was there anything as you went in the home, like, how did you lay that out? Like, what did you do? And talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, as far as the virtual sales, I'll be honest, a lot of my stuff is over the phone, but sometimes when they request, right, we kind of give them the option. We can do this over the phone. If you prefer, we can do it via Zoom, right, if they feel more comfortable. But for the most part, I'm trying to do the one-call close on the phone, right? Mm-hmm. But when I'm in the home, or if I'm doing Zoom, to answer your question, it's all about setting the table, right, setting proper expectation, letting them know what you're there for. And I think setting the table is important. It's the key, right? Zach Jardowski says it all the time. This is what we're going to do today, Mr. and Mrs. Client. And, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And then this is what's going to happen at the end. Being assumptive, right? We always hear, we are the doctor, they're the patient, right? You don't want to go see a doctor that's kind of wishy-washy. Well, I think you should do this, or I think you should take this kind of med. But we want a doctor that knows what our situation is, because we're here to provide a solution. And they have a need, we have a solution. Our job is not to sell. Basically, we're glorified order takers or information collectors, right? And as long as you set the table, you explain to them what the process looks like, facilitate, walk them through that process, make them feel comfortable, and then being able to find that solution to fill their need.
I love that. So when you do the dial day, going back to that, right? What time do you start dialing?
7:30, 8 o'clock at the absolute latest.
Got it. And with your virtuals, because some guys are setting their appointments, are you just doing them right over the phone? Like so I'm calling you and you're just doing it right then, right? You're not scheduling an appointment for later on unless it's like on a Saturday, you said, I think.
Right then and right there, right? Because we want to, again, that sense of urgency, while we have them on the phone, we want to try to, get it done right then and right there. Because and I think we all kind of know, right, on the phones, if they do request that later appointment, the chances of them picking up again, sometimes you just never know. It's out of our control. So if I have you on the phone, I'm going to do anything and everything I can to help you right then on the spot. Because some things might happen later on. You might forget, even though we send reminder text messages, things come up, or whatever the case may be, or they just ghost me for whatever reason. And it's all part of what we do. And again, the key is to not take anything personal. It has nothing to do with them saying no to you, just them saying maybe right now it's not the right time. And but even in those type of situations, we always follow up. Just like anything we do, we follow up is key. But if I have you on the phone, I'm going to do pretty much everything that I can to help you right then and on the spot.
Yeah, guys, and I think as we kind of wrap this up, I want you to talk about your mindset real quick, because here's the thing. He played college football. He was successful. He's obviously being successful here, protecting, he'll be a Hall of Fame this year. That's going to happen. But, protected, 350 families, whatever the number might be. But his mindset is key. If you hear him, he's like, hey, I get on the phone, I dial, whatever. But what are some of those things that, like, for example, someone hangs up on you, a new agent, like, freaks out, right? For me, it was a challenge. I'd call him back, say, did you disconnected, whatever. I would make sure that they aren't ruining my day. Like, you're not ruining my day here. Like, whatever I had to do to make that right, I call him back until I hung the phone up, whatever it had to do. What are some things, how did you view that? Like, in the beginning, and maybe now it's even different. I don't know.
Yeah, of course, for new agents, and myself in the very beginning, I kind of took some of those things a little bit personal. I was like, hey, I'm a nice guy. Why did this guy just, or why did this lady just hang up on me or cuss me out or whatever the case may be? But I think as you continue on, again, kind of like I mentioned, you take the emotions out of this, right? Because, again, they don't know you, you don't know them. We don't know what kind of day they're having, whatever the case may be. But I think the difference between a new agent and a veteran agent is how quickly can you rebound from that hang up or from that, go pound sand type situation, right? And mindset is important. Mindset is key, because we never want to be up or down. We never let the downs, like you said, kill our vibe for the day, right? Never be too high, never be too low. Just try to stay even keel and never take anything personal. So when a person tells me, hey, go pound sand, hey, I didn't fill it out, hey, whatever, take me off here, put me on the DNC, I don't take that personally, right? And even if, like you, I pick up the phone, call right back, hey, Mr. Whichard, I'm sorry, maybe I had a bad connection, and I go right back into it. And sometimes, you believe it or not, they just continue the conversation. So, it's about being able to rebound from that bad call, or if you're not able to help them, and just keep it moving, and that I think that's key. That's key.
Yeah, I like when they say, they do not call us, for example. Well, that's why I need to come see you, get you to sign this, and take care of it, get you off do not call list. You don't want anybody else calling anymore, do you? No? Okay, great. I'll be over on Friday at 5, whatever. Exactly. I mean, I think we just got to, push through it. I have one guy that, Robbie Wells, who's Hall of Fame producer, will be another one this year. And I was in a podcast with him, and he was like, there's no number. But see, somebody just like, oh, I didn't get a phone number. You know what he did? He said in this podcast, which we'd done it. I mean, I knocked on doors, but to hear him say, he goes, oh, I looked at it as a bonus lead. I look back and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He goes, well, I get to go knock on their door because David's not called them. I can't get a hold of them. I know that they're going to be their door. 25% of his sales, think about that, 25% of his sales, he tracked it, out of the 400 were door knocks from those kind of leads. How about that? Exactly.
We do anything we can to take care, resolve that lead. All leads need to be resolved. We at the end of the day, we pay for them, right? So whatever it takes, whether it's phone number, no phone number. And one thing, we kind of do here is, if they don't have a phone number, fastpeoplesearch.com is a great tool, right? You'd be surprised.
Fast People Search, yeah.
Yeah, Fast People Search. You'd be surprised what you can find on there. And of course, last resort, if you really can't get them on the phone, go door knock them. And, Robbie Wells, I actually shared the stage with him, at a conference. Yeah. So I know him very, very well. He's a great, awesome guy. And door knock is a key. Is something that I've implemented, and in between appointments, people that I wasn't able to get on the phone, I'm always door knocking.
Yeah. All right. So as we wrap this up, David, number one, how did they get a hold of you? And number two, what's your goal for the next 3-4 months, end of the year, and going into next year?
Yeah, you can find me on social media, Facebook, David Chen, IG, D_Chen13. My cell phone number, 626-644-0114. As far as the goal for the rest of the year, obviously from a personal producer, I'm going to try to get that red jacket, hopefully cross that stage. And, I remember what it was like sitting with all my fellow brothers. And, when Brandon went up and Rob went up and Colton went up, and made a promise to myself I'm going to try to be up there as well. And then continue to build a team, pour back to the agents, and help them, become better and better, and basically, duplicate another David Chen, and go out there and hopefully get that done.
I'm getting excited for you, man. I get chill bumps here. I don't know if you saw, I was in the front row up there, that last year, and I was sitting with my wife, and she's like, "Why do you keep getting up?" And I'm like, "Because these are my buds." Like, it was like Howard Bean went across stage, and every other one. I want to build those relationships. I can't wait to, if I'm in that front row or close by, I get up and hug you and congratulate you on Hall of Fame last year, just like Colton and those guys. They were probably like, "Oh my gosh, he's going to kill me," because I get all excited, and Rob and that kind of thing. So it was super cool to see those guys win. So, David, I appreciate you being on early this morning. He's in California. 3 hours apart, so appreciate you waking up with us today on a Warrior podcast. Please reach out to David. He works with Stephen Yee and Trey Honeycutt, Integrity Partners, Andrew, all those guys, and we're all one big team, one big family. We just appreciate you guys. So want to be part of a great system, great team. You've got those guys. FFL is just a great place to be in my mind. Best system out there. We'll help you get leads. We have that. We're going on right, David, where we can, give you a different give you a lead assist if you want to work there. And then obviously to build a big agency, you got the highest one of the higher carrier comps in the industry, all those things. So we're super excited about what we got going on at FFL. We're only just getting beginning, and we're going to, for Family First Life, our goal is $1 billion next year. That's a Family First Life goal, and that's definitely going to happen. So we're super excited about that in our 10th year. So we thank you, Sean, Mike, Andrew, Taylor, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Warrior Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on, Mr. Whichard.